Terrain seems a bit unstable, no readout yet if the air is breathable, and there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. That's right, welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast. This is our 30th episode. Our episode's 30 years old. Not years, but episodes old, meaning that our episode's parents are kicking us out of their basement. I am your host, Jeff Hornacek. Welcome in, we're just a bunch of bros talking superheroes, movies, and superhero movies. Before we get started, let's go around and meet the other bros with me tonight. As always, in his lab, the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Banner, hello.
Hello, mate.
All right. Australian today is the accent du jour. On to someone who doesn't pretend to be someone he's not, because that's what's really cool, is our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. Ronnie, thanks for coming on and participating in this episode with us.
Great to be here, Jeff. I really appreciate it. First off, I really want to thank my parents. They really started it all for me. And then, of course, got on. Wow, okay. Well, again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good night.
The beginning part, when you were thanking us, sounded sarcastic, and then when you were thanking your parents, it sounded actually earnest and heartfelt. So you gave me a little...
They are big fans of the show.
All right, guys, diving right into it. The most important thing in any bro's life is, of course, chest day. That's how we start off every episode with our chest day topic. Today, we need to rant and rave a little bit. So if you're paying attention to any of this news the past week, we're not going to give any of these shitty websites free clicks. We're not going to even reference the stories because it pissed us off so much. But there was a slew of news that came out involving the DCEU from several websites, most of which was rebuffed in the coming days as false. And now we're sure anyone listening to this movie podcast is obviously aware of those rumors spreading like wildfire on the internet, but more importantly, these clickbait websites, not just for superhero movies, but any type of movies, horror movies, tentpole genre films, even like indie films now with directors leaving, are just getting out of control, becoming more prevalent and deceptive. So today, it's basically a bro state of the union in the movie landscape. How is this awful method and practice of just ridiculous pandering and clickbaiting affecting not only fans' perception, it's creating hostility between fans and studios. And what can we do to basically make this garbage see a decline? Or as fans, where can we draw our line in the sand and just step up? Banner, I'm going to go to you first. This is basically a town hall meeting that we're calling out right now. How ridiculous is this clickbait bullshit, and what can we do at all, if anything, to make it stop? All right.
That's all I got to say.
You're just going to crack open a beer and then... Did you even hear the question?
No. You started talking, and I was like, ooh, I'm thirsty, so I just stopped paying attention.
But you also raised your hand and said, hey, ask me first. And then you just cracked a beer and said you didn't.
Well, yeah, I read the show notes, so I have a general idea of what we're talking about.
I thought he was raising his hand and who wants a beer, and he answered his own question.
Oh. I do want my own beer. No, to go into this, nothing's going to change. I mean, at the end of the day, the only way to make this kind of change is the studios actually say and stick to stuff, and they actually, come out and tell us information. Otherwise, we're going to continue to get the guy that's hiding in a trash can, that's talking to the guy that cleans the toilets, that has a cup held up to the wall, who says, I'm pretty sure I heard this. That's essentially where our news is coming from these days. And it's sad, but unless somehow the studios can come up with their own websites, rumor websites or whatever, that's the only way that it's going to go away. But it also still works on me because I find myself scrolling through Facebook or on Twitter and going, oh shit. And then I click on it and I'm like, oh yeah, I already knew that.
What you just described is sitting in a trash can with a cup up to the wall. That's how I proposed to my first wife, actually. So harken back to some romantic... Yeah, Susan. She's doing great, actually. Cycli, as our legal counsel, before I even let you answer, can we sue these clickbait websites just for being dickheads?
So I don't know if any of your listeners know, I'm a lawyer. So I just want to make sure that that's out there.
Let's clear that up.
Yeah, no, we don't really have a lot of claim there, but what I would say in all seriousness that the only really ways to get about this that the movie studios and not even just movie studios, you talk about HBO and all the leaks with Game of Thrones, you have to make the strongest NDAs possible on everyone on those sets, even with the janitors, even with anyone who could potentially be someone who sees something and can leak it. make sure that they sign their life away, and the risk of releasing that information is way worse than the attention they'll get for releasing that. But Banner's right. I don't think it's going anywhere because, you know what, I hate clickbait, but you know what I do? I still click on it.
I know, me too.
And
I hate myself.
It gets me every time. The worst part is I know it's clickbait. I'm like, don't click on it. Don't click on it. Click. Damn it.
What if you're in an incognito browser? Does that not... Do they get less money from that? Because I could start doing that.
Nobody knows that you clicked on it then.
That's true. Yeah.
I think the only way is the ad, I mean, the ad's on there, and if you do ad blocker, but I don't think that's, you're still looking at it, and as long as people are willing to click on it, and we're an impatient society, so it's going to keep happening.
Yeah, Cycling, I'm glad you brought up Game of Thrones because there was also the Netflix, I think it was, now Banner, I know you're a huge fan of the show, Orange is the New Black. I believe that was leaked. Not even the scripts, but the actual episodes were stolen by people. So the internet giveth and the internet taketh away. I think for me, everything just came to a head this week when we get these sensationalized stories about, the Batman and all these things happening in the DCEU, and then literally the next day they're basically retracted by the same websites, who then get your click again because you want to watch them eat crow and apologize. Now, having said that, we're not going to name the websites because we don't want to give them any publicity, even negative, but I'm never going back to those websites for any type of news ever again. So I know other people out there are just as pissed off, if not more than me. I hope that we can have some sort of resolve and grab our pitchforks and just absolutely boycott them in every respect.
Yeah, grab our pitchforks and just do some stuff with hay. I'm totally with you.
Banner.
What?
All right, before we move on to the second segment of the show, fan questions, anything else you guys want to add or any specific website you just want to burn to the ground real quick? Doesn't have to be movie related. Like if ESPN screwed up your fantasy league, we can do that real quick.
No, I'm actually beating the brakes off of you in fantasy, so I'm happy with that.
All right, erroneous. We will move on. A little bit of an abbreviated show today. No protein shake. We forgot to go grocery shopping. All we got was beer, which Banner looks like he's taken care of for us. So that brings us to a very important question. Banner, are you drinking scotch and beer?
Maybe.
Did you get the beer just for the sound effect of opening it into the mic?
Of course I did.
You're so predictable.
Okay, hey, Banner, I'm about to come over. I'll continue this podcast in the car, and I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah, come on over.
All right. Banner, I have a serious question for you, though, all joking aside.
All jokes aside. Like left side or right side?
Yeah, top.
Okay.
Do you even lift, bruh?
Brah. Do you even lift?
Do you even lift, bruh?
Yeah,
And that brings us to our fan question segment, Do You Even Lift, Bruh?, where we scour the internet, find some great fan questions to answer and talk about. Our first question today comes to us from Aaron Ventura, at Aaron Ventura 20. This is a great question. And the second Banner saw this on the show notes, he said, fuck, they're coming for me. They found me. And Aaron Ventura asks, if Michael Bay touched your beloved franchise, as an example, he gave Star Wars, how would you respond? Ronnie Cycli, we will go to you first. Michael Bay, if he got a hold of your favorite franchise.
So my favorite franchise is Harry Potter, I would say. And honestly, part of me would, obviously, I think part of me would want to boycott it. I would still have to go see it, but the explosions, the effects that would take away from the magic of the franchise, and then there would probably just be, massive wizard balls that it will explode on the side of the castle, and all of a sudden there's going to be just bombs coming from the sky, and it's going to be a whole different movie at the end of it. It's not even going to be about Harry anymore. So, no, I can't say I'd be happy with Michael Bay being in charge.
And he would cast like random supermodels in roles that don't really make sense. And I think the scariest thing about thinking that is with Fantastic Beasts, that franchise is still alive and kicking. Bay announced he's not doing Transformers anymore. What if somehow he sneaks in and gets a hold of one of these movies? That's like all of our biggest fears, I think.
I don't want to touch it, but then it's like the clickbait thing. I still would, and I would hate myself for it.
Banner, you are a Michael Bay apologist through and through. Are you actually going to be honest here and kick him to the curb, or are you going to just fucking suck up to him and continue to worship him as a false idol?
Well, as we all know, my franchise is Jurassic Park, and that motherfucker better not touch it. All right. He can have like the Blade franchise or like G.I. Joe. That'd be perfect for him. but stay away from my dinosaurs.
G.I. Joe is one that he, despite his best efforts, couldn't make worse.
That's true.
Mine...
What
I
killed
think
Duke?
he
I was
do
like,
G.I. Joe, honestly.
Yeah, he might have. Who the fuck knows? You can't tell the difference.
He should do something like Transformers, you know?
I looked it up today. He did not have anything to do with G.I. Joe because I was kind of surprised.
They're both owned. G.I. Joe and Transformers are both run by Hasbro. There's been a lot of talk of a crossover movie. I'm sure that would get him out of bed in the morning. So one of my favorite, I would say guilty pleasure, but at this point it's just a pleasure franchise. And that's the Fast and Furious movies. And I know people at home are like, what the fuck? Those are stupid as is. There's nothing he could do to ruin them. This is where I would draw the line, people. The franchise has already started to mess with CGI a little bit too much. Hate to ruin the last movie for you, but those 1,000 cars falling off of skyscrapers in New York was not real. That was computer-generated imagery. If Michael Bay...
I saw that happen.
No.
Dude, it's a documentary.
I know. There are truthers out there who think that it was real. And I'm not going to lie, they have some compelling cases, but I don't believe that is the actual reality. Basically, to me, if they've already started to abuse the CGI, if he got a hold of it, it would basically be like a 6th grader who just discovered internet porn. It would be like a disgusting mess. And I think the worst part about this is now that he, quote-unquote, is done with Transformers, he's probably going to start... He's going to try and sink his teeth into something else. And I hope it's not the Fast and Furious.
I also hope he doesn't, like, reboot something that's a classic. Like, I know here recently, just off the pod, we've been talking a lot about, like, Back to the Future or something. Like, a classic, it doesn't even have to be a non-touchable franchise, but just another franchise out there that they want to reboot. I hope he doesn't get a hold of that and just bury it into the ground.
If he remakes Back to the Future, we're buying a DeLorean, we're somehow getting plutonium, we're going back to whenever, and we're not letting it happen.
I'm just ready for him to take over for the remake of Schindler's List. It's going to be fantastic.
Like, I didn't remember there being robots in the Holocaust, but all right. I guess revisionist history. Great question there, Aaron. We appreciate it. On to our second question comes from FireInUN001 at FireInUN01, who wants to know, I'm waiting on the 4th Boondock Saints. I'm waiting for the day Boondock Saints 3 comes out. Sorry about that. Is there a sequel/trilogy that you have been waiting for? Banner, we'll go to you. As one of our experts on sequels and trilogies, what do you got?
So I've got two. One that it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine that I really like the first two. National Treasure. I'm not a big Nick Cage fan, but there's something about those two movies that I would love to get a third one of that.
I'm with you.
But that's not my movie of choice for this question. Give me a third Ace Ventura, but with classic Jim Carrey. Bring it back.
But that doesn't exist anymore.
I know it doesn't, but still, I would love to have one. I know they made a stupid Ace Ventura Jr., but I don't count that.
Was that his son, or was that supposed to be him as a child?
I'm not going to lie, I didn't see it, because when I saw it came out and it didn't have Jim Carrey in it, I just inherently said no.
All right, good. Cycly, what do you got?
So I was thinking, like, Armageddon 2. I really wanted to see the Asteroids family. Just really, like, they were really broken up after what happened.
There's
and
two
they
sides
take
to every
revenge
story.
on Earth. I think that's a movie that needs to be told. I think they have a story, too. Everyone has two sides. So, no, in all honesty, I know this probably isn't the best way to answer this question, but I'm very anti-sequel trilogy right now. And I think a lot of the reason is everything is a sequel or trilogy now. And
everything connects.
Everything connects, and how many of them are set up to disappoint? I was talking to Banner earlier today about Super Troopers 2, which I am so excited for, but now I'm more scared that it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And I still am going to go see it, and I'm excited, but I'm getting to the point to where we don't have a lot of originality and creativity. We're just rehashing things, and it's the same jokes or the same story over and over. But I could answer it seriously. I have one or two in mind, but I'm kind of anti-sequel right now.
That's refreshing, actually. I think especially with comedies, when they wait too long, I think of Dumb and Dumber 2 and some of those other ones where it just kind of taints the original. And Zoolander 2 was, I'm not even kidding here, when I saw that in theaters, I was actually getting depressed at how embarrassed I was for Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson.
I felt the same with Anchorman 2 as well.
Yeah, it's tough to watch when they're trying to be funny and just they can't recapture that magic at all. One that I've wanted to see, and that we almost got a third one to this. This is such a closet favorite of mine. I don't get why this movie wasn't more popular, and that's Tron. I want a third Tron movie. To me, Tron Legacy, incredible soundtrack by Daft Punk. I've
Oh yeah.
lauded it on this podcast multiple times. Visually insane. I saw it in IMAX 3D, and my mind
That's
was
the only way to see it.
oh my gosh, dude. I still can't get over how sick it was. I want a third one. Give me Olivia Wilde. Give me Garrett Hedlund. We don't need. We can leave the Jeff Bridges storyline where it ended in the second one. I know it kind of ended. They got off. Spoiler alert for Tron Legacy. If you hate us because we ruined Tron Legacy, tweet at us. We can meet up in an alley and fight somewhere. But they get out of the grid at the end of it. So I don't know. Let's find a device to get them back in. This movie was gonna happen and then it didn't. Let's get let's crowdfund it and just let's fucking go. We probably need a lot of money though because it's like
I'm in for $5. That should get us there.
I'll match your $5. Banner, what are you gonna throw in for the third Tron movie?
Like 250.
You can't even match $5. You cheap
I
piece of
bought the beer.
You're a piece of shit, man. And then you drank it.
I didn't say I bought you beer. I said I bought beer.
Okay. Our last "Do you even lift, bruh?" question comes to us from You Shall Not Pass. Great name. You Shall Not Pass! At Calgore75, who says, now that the summer blockbusters are over, what movie are you most looking forward to seeing this year? Kind of hard to believe how quick 2017 has gone by. Cycly, we'll go to you first. I think we can just have Star Wars be the implicit movie that we all want to see. Like, obviously, we're going to be there opening night.
Take Thor and Justice League off the table. I think that's fair.
That's
right?
fair.
We can all agree those are three that we really want to see.
So what are you looking for that, not necessarily off the radar, but outside of the huge tentpole films that are left, what are you definitely going to go see in theaters?
So I'm a big horror movie fan, and it takes a special movie to be a good horror movie because it's really easy to do badly.
Yeah.
And we get a couple good ones, or I'm hopeful about good ones. First of all, It coming up a couple weeks. Every trailer looks terrifying, and I am really excited about that one. And then the second movie that I'm looking forward to in October, Jigsaw. So their reboot, I don't know, we'll talk about that later, but whether it's a reboot or where that story is going to go from the Saw franchise, absolutely love the Saw franchise. And so, yeah, definitely going to be in line for the opening day on that one.
Be sure to check out Closer to Halloween, our movie commentary on the original Saw, which is incredible and one of the best plot twists in any film ever. Love both of those. I'm sure we'll be doing reviews on both It and Jigsaw also. Banner, what do you got? We got a few months left in the year. Give us something that we can look forward to.
So I'm going to start this off by saying 2017 started out with a bang. We had a great January, February, March, even April, really. For me, going into May, June, July, and even now August, I'm not going to say it dropped off, but because the start of the year was so good, it made the middle of the year and our summer films not feel as great.
August has sucked, I'll be honest, but that's fine.
August has been really rough. I will say that, but I'm lumping it in with the summer movies because it helps my cause. But
at least you're honest.
But yeah, but now we're getting into September, October, November, December, and these movies, I see the potential for those to be better than the second third and as good as the first third. Where honestly, in 2017, our summer movies is our worst section of movies. I'm really looking forward to Kingsman 2. I love the first one. I know Geiger hated it when it comes out. Guys, check out our movie review on the first Kingsman. I think it looks really good. Guilty pleasure, I love the Pitch Perfect movies. So Pitch Perfect 3 coming out. I know it's going to be bad, but it's going to be so good at the same time. We're all going to sing along.
Dude, I fuck with Pitch Perfect. I'm with you on that. Yeah,
it's great. But one that I think is really, really going to be good, I think it's going to get a few Oscar nods, is Goodbye, Christopher Robin. It's got that Saving Mr. Banks feel. It's got that Finding Neverland feel. It's the story about the author that wrote Winnie the Pooh. I think it's going to be really good, kind of a more serious movie, something that we haven't gotten this year. And it's kind of starting us into that artsy-fartsy era of the year. I don't even know. Is that the right time frame of the year? I don't know. I've been drinking.
I mean, I would definitely go see it, but Margot Robbie is so ugly that I just don't know. She's kind of.
See, are we looking at the same Margot Robbie?
Probably not. Probably not. I'll echo Cycly's sentiment here. This is I'm a big horror movie fan too. Cycly and I love horror movies that kind of make you think a little bit, and I think we got a couple of good ones still left here. So one that, guys, bear with me on this, but Happy Death Day, as this is being released, I actually think it comes out in the next weekend or two. Check out that trailer. If you're a horror fan, I think that one's gonna have a cool ending to it. I'm in for that. The Snowman with Michael Fassbender looks creepy as shit, and just like a keep you guessing thriller the whole time. And then a movie that I actually said on our first podcast of the calendar year was my favorite movie this year, Murder on the Orient Express. That movie comes out in December, and mark my words, it's going to be one of my favorite films of the year. We've only got one teaser trailer for it, and I'm more jacked than I was when I first made that prediction. So those are three still left to come out. We got some juice left in the tank here, guys. Even outside of the big boys that come to bat in November, December, I think there's a lot of great movies we just listed that are definitely going to be worth getting your money at the theaters if you're on the fence right now. All right, before we let the people go, any last words, Banner? Do you want to say artsy fartsy again?
Look, if the fans demand it, I'll say it again.
No,
artsy
they're good.
fartsy.
Cycly, any parting words from you?
Yeah, I'm a lawyer.
Oh yeah, I don't think we mentioned that. We'll put that in the
when?
description for the episode.
It just all happened really fast.
Cycly's the lawyer. All right, guys, we have been the Bro Force Squad. For our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycly, and the mad scientist, Brian Banner. I am the playmaker, Jeff Hornacek. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. I can give myself a fucking nickname if I want to.
You can't make up your own.
I call that I can call things. Follow us on Twitter at Broforce Squad. Like us on Facebook, Bro4 Squad Podcast, 4 words. If you could subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube and leave us an iTunes review, we will read the shit out of that on our next episode. Find us all on both those platforms, Bro4 Squad, 3 words. And as always, when you can access the internet, number 1, do it, because it's awesome. Number 2, check us out at bro4squad.com. We will catch you next time for our 31st episode.
You're like the water boy. Jeff the water boy.